afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Puducherians. This is your DGP speaking to you. I've been wanting to speak to you earlier also, and we have spoken in the recent past. But I just thought that I should share some of my observations and have a heart-to-heart talk with my citizens. As we are all aware, we are into the Unlock 1.0 as directed by the Government of India, Ministry of Home Affairs, which began from the 1st of June this year. And the second tranche to this Unlock 1.0 began day before yesterday, Monday the 8th of June, when other things also opened up. More importantly, hotels, restaurants, hospitality services, they opened up. The malls opened up. We have a big mall in Puducherry, as you're aware. And I'm talking about all my 4 regions when I speak as the DGP. And thirdly, and very importantly, the religious institutions, be it the churches, be it the mosques, be it the Hindu temples, both HRI and the private temples inclusive. I've been going around, the entire Puducherry UT. I've been going to the rural areas, I've been seeing the town areas, and my broad observations are, some of them observations I'd like to put across to you, which makes a lot of sense to me. Ladies and gentlemen, dear children, we must understand one fundamental thing, that we yet do not have a vaccine for this dreaded coronavirus. Despite a lot of efforts being made globally and including our country to create that vaccine. But it will take time. Smallpox created time, but we eradicated. And therefore, sooner than later, we will be able to eradicate this coronavirus also. That is my solid belief in our health systems. That being said, I must reiterate that the only vaccine therefore available to us is what I call the social vaccine of social distancing. And social distancing is a bit of a jargon. To make it very simple, all that it means is to maintain physical distances wherever you are. So 3 important things that I request all of you to bear in your mind. And my children particularly, you are the biggest teachers. If you keep telling to your people at home, you know, Papa do this, Mama do this, I'm sure they'll believe in. For example, if my daughter tells me something, even if I don't, if I have some different ideas about it, I like to believe what she's saying, because they really are. They train us better, our children. They are more alert. And I find 3 things that I need to tell all of you. Wherever you're outside your house, even if it is outside the front gate of your house, please wear a mask. And a mask is fundamental to containing this transmission of this dreaded disease. It pullulates. This disease pullulates exponentially. Ladies and gentlemen, it pullulates exponentially. Therefore, wear a mask. And wear a mask in a way that your nose and your mouth are completely covered. That is the fundamental. Do not touch your mask with your hands. And that comes to the second fundamental point of using the sanitizers. If there's a touch point, for example, I've just touched this, I've touched my glasses, I've touched this call bell. Now there's a touch point to it. As soon as there's a touch point, the threat of getting the virus increases. Therefore, the use of the sanitizers. Wherever the temples that I visited, I kept insisting, the place where they have the taps, where you have to open the tap to clean yourself, to clean your hands, obviously the tap has been used. Now if the tap has been used, there's a touch point to it. And therefore I requested the temple authorities to keep the person dispensing the sanitizer, to keep it next to the taps. So there are small things which we need to keep tweaking in terms of real time, and try and make sure that we feel protected. Social distancing, obviously the best way to do it is through social circles, and I'm glad that every one of you have done it. I actually want to pay a tribute to my Puducherians at this stage. I think they're so literate, they're so concerned. It's so easy, believe you me, to implement the laws in the UT of Puducherry. Puducherrians by nature are law abiding. And that and I say this with considerable authority as your DGP, that enforcing the laws has been the simplest in the UT of Puducherry, because each one of us is well-meaning and wants to contribute their bit to make this UT safer and healthier. A word about the Puducherry police at this stage. I have very few people, as you know. The entire department, which includes home guards, traffic, Puducherry police, IRBN, I have coastal security, control room, all those 20 units that work under me. You will be surprised that we are just about 3,500, at best 4,000 people. And we are managing this situation since March this year. And till date, that unfortunate bit of one of my home guards falling prey to this virus, and I'm glad that he's recovering, and I take this opportunity to wish him and his family the very best, and we are looking after him. I've specially designed a coronavirus kit for them, which contains 34 items. I know if one of my boys falls sick and he rushes to the hospital, people will not be able to collect the items for him. So the welfare is there. But coming back to the Puducherry police, I feel that they are committed, diligent, and absolutely disciplined to the proverb. I'm yet to see any deficiency in the discipline so far. It's a tribute, and the reason is because it's the same people who churn out the police also. The policemen are coming from the same society, and if you have a society who is disciplined, if you have a society who is so much aware and sensitized to the need of the hour, then it becomes very natural for the policemen to have that kind of a psyche in their mind. So our DNA is so properly tuned to enforcement of laws that the things have been able to, I think we have been able to manage pretty well. The enforcements are there. We have stepped up our prosecutions, but I think as far as the masking and as far as sanitization part is concerned, and as far as the social distancing is concerned, I think we need to step up our prosecutions here and there. It's also now spreading to the rural areas, which has come as big as a surprise. We find that the percentage of masking in the rural areas is a little low. We need to improve there. A word about the excise shops. People have opened up Araks and toddies shops. We find that people tend to buy Arak and toddy, and then in some of the petty shops in the perimeter, or just near in some bushes, or just opposite, they tend to drink. I think we should avoid that. Similarly, the eateries have started off. I find a lot of places it's still in the takeaway stage, and wherever there's a takeaway, so things are easier there. But even in the dining in, I went to this A to B, I found that the seats have been rearranged. Just a request to the people who, once the hotels start off, please make sure that the SOPs are read thoroughly, and they have acknowledged it, but they should be implemented in letter and in spirit also. The SOPs are well defined. Read them carefully. We have also got them translated into the local languages, Tamil, Malayalam and Telugu, for the benefit of our residents in Yanam and Mahe. But the point that I'm trying to make through this audio-video recording of mine is to make sure that these SOPs are implemented in letter and spirit. And if you have to err, you must err on the side of caution. For example, small things. If there's a instrumental music or light music being played inside a restaurant, with a sit-down restaurant, just make sure that the music gets. Then you stop the music at some stage and read and sensitize them on the coronavirus thing and the do's and don'ts. So a lot of things can be done, and the security guards, for example, they need to be looked after. At some places I found them, they were not being given masks, they were not being given gloves, they were using the same doors with the touch points. We have to look after our men. Those security guards are an important part of the system, which makes them, ensures that the system delivers. They are kind of a force multiplier for us. In fact, every security guard, every NCC volunteer, every NSS volunteer is my strength. He's as much a policeman as we are. They are, in fact, all of you, all citizens, We are all policemen. Some of us in uniform, some of us without uniform. And a good citizenry, which is aware of the laws and the rules, it's become so much easier to therefore then enforce and regulate those laws also. So do not forget that you are my strength. If you regulate yourselves, if you also tell your colleagues, suppose you're standing in the temple waiting in the queue before you get the blessings of the Lord Almighty, make sure that if there's someone is not maintaining physical distances, you point it out to him. Okay, sir, why are you? See, it's very simple. We are talking of 2 meters. And 2 meters means an area of 4 square meters. So have that mathematical model in your minds wherever you go outside. Keep it in your mind, at the back of your head, that I need 4 square meters around me to be completely free without encumbrances. That's it. 4 square meters. As the Honorable Prime Minister and the Honorable CM have been insisting in various meetings, and the Honorable LG, we must keep this 4 square meters area in my mind. This is basically 2 meters, which is 6 feet. In Hindi, we call it Do Gaj Ki Duri, which has been popularized by the Honorable Prime Minister. He's been talking about this. Puducherry police is there to facilitate all of you. We should not be seen as that we are kind of trying to stop you from doing anything. We'll facilitate any such activity which the government has decided to open up. We are here as facilitators. We are here to assist. We are here to help all of you. But it needs to be symbiotic. It needs to be reciprocal. All of you must make it easier for us. And we will make it even more easier for you. That's the promise. I find of late, particularly in the last 15 days, a large number of hurt cases have increased. A few murders have come up. Now, some of them I've told my officers to do a detailed analysis of this. But we have to be a careful society. For example, if there are murders, if there are hurts, people will have to be arrested. If they have to be arrested, they'll have to be sent to the jails. Suppose, God forbid, if someone is COVID positive, are we not taking the virus into the jail therefore? So so we need to introspect. 2 important things which come out also is stigmatization. We cannot stigmatize the patient. Our battle is against the disease, not the patient. It can be anybody. We have to have a heart. There was the other day, just to reflect on the stigmatization, a particular employee of a particular factory got COVID positive. And he in turn made a few other employees in that particular factory COVID positive. People, they felt that that the factory was responsible in a way, and they made sure that one of the loaders was not allowed to do their operations. Now we are taking, therefore, this stigmatization a little too far. This is not fair. Secondly, my request is to the political parties. This is a time when they should rethink the strategy of how to organize demonstrations and protests. It's not fair to come out in large numbers where social distancing gets totally compromised. We are therefore increasing the threat of transmitting the virus. A lot of places, even a lot of, I think I'm told they're doing virtual demonstrations, virtual rallies. It's an interesting concept because this virus is here to stay till such time that the vaccine is developed. And while the virus is here to stay, we have to live with it. And therefore, it requires fundamental changes in our attitude, in our temperament, and in our way of life. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's broadly what I needed to speak to you. Yes, a word. This morning I have had a detailed tour of the city again, because the fish market I thought was a particular pricky point for me. I went to the Guber fish market, and then I went to this beautiful complex near the Lata Junction in D Nagar, where the modern hygienic fish complex has come up. The collective was there, and the representatives from the other line departments, LAD, the fisheries, and the municipal commissioners were there. So we've taken a few, we discussed it at length. We also went to the AFT ground, which could be possibly used for the fruits and the vegetables wholesalers and retailers. So there are certain things which are on our minds, and we need to take this forward. So we'll have detailed discussions on this. Then we'll go to the government with our views and suggestions, and let us see how things then pan out in the near future. But the idea is that you need to reduce distances. Social distancing means physical distances. And I will end by reiterating, ladies, gentlemen, children, and my elders, particularly elders, please don't come out if it's not required. Children, don't come out if it's not required. Play virtual cricket. Don't play cricket where the social distancing. I've found a lot of children playing, 20-24 children playing in a small. It's not correct. It's not correct. Maintain your physical distances. You see, even your schools have been closed for this reason, so that physical distances can be maintained, and you now have the online classes going on for you. So keep that in mind. Physical distancing is the need of the hour. We are not enforcing something just for the heck of it. We are enforcing something because it is imperative, it is required for all of us. And regarding the fish market, I already alluded to, so we'll take this forward. We don't want a Coimbatore kind of a repeat here. You must be aware, all of you are literate, cerebral, reading your newspapers. We are slowly touching 100 odd positives, if you're aware, now about 90 already. So we need to keep this in mind. The virus is coming, we have some positives. Fortunately, there are no fatalities. The 2 fatalities were not our cases, they were from Tamil Nadu. That is a relief so far, but we have to be very, very concerned, very, very concerned. The health protocols have to be maintained, and we have to carry on with the work, we have to carry on with our lives, but we have to maintain social hygiene and social distancing. Thank you, and Nandri.